Oh, we got something coming in. All right. I'm grateful for my family and my business family too. Awesome sauce. Well, everyone, we're going to enjoy this amazing day on Independence. I really thank you for sharing your value time. Like you say, Miro, he's been doing this for the consecutive of 3 years consistently every Monday with Monday's masterclass of abundance. And I'm glad to step up and fill the shoes so that his queen and his family can enjoy their Independence Day while we hold the fork down. See, teamwork makes the dream work. Again, I'm Empress Nakasha, and I am an intuitive business advisor. And today we're going to be focusing on how we can grow in our personal growth and how we can elevate into taking what we've grown into our business. So what I would like for us to do is that when we begin, we go into a meditation, but this type of meditation requires a notepad and a pen. So what I mean by that is that we're going to take some notes on this journey because it's going to be so valuable on what we're going to be sharing today in masterminding. So as you can see, this is an amazing show, right? We know it as the Fibonacci sequence. So just imagine that 80% of who you are is already existing in this reality. And the other 20% is being created. And so it's a framework where we get to grow and a framework where we get to connect with our connections and provide resources. So that means that we got to put a little effort in, and that requires your imagination. So in this intuitive exercise, we're going to be focusing on the inner focus. A lot of times we visualize things on the outward side, but I want us to come in and inner focus on our self-growth when it comes to ourselves and business. So just imagine that you're already in your ideal state of abundance. I mean, you got all the amazing connections, all the resources when it comes to your value, time, and access to capital, and opportunities are opening up for you, as well as the people like Miro, his queen, Matt, myself. Everyone is celebrating your success. And lastly, you got these systems that's just set in place for you to continue to thrive and make an impact. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine that highest ideal state now. Imagine what it feels like to breathe in and just imagine that abundance. Imagine you making an impact on people's lives. Imagine that your passion is aligning what your life purpose is and you're monetizing from it and you're happy, you're joyful, and you're so appreciative and just standing in the attitude of gratitude. Just imagine that ideal state. What does it feel like being in that ideal state? Now, what I would like for you to do, when I snap my hands, we're going to take a journey on a roller coaster. Imagine that you went all the way up on a roller coaster and you know there's a tipping point where it's going to go down. So when I snap my hands, you're going to submerge, but this time we're going to submerge in the ocean of the oasis. So breathe in and get ready to submerge. Now you're going down into this amazing roller coaster, and now you're submerging in the ocean. Imagine this ocean as being your subconscious. But here's the deal. What is the question that we have to propose for ourselves? What I mean by that, how are you naturally going to address your and our current conditions? Are you going to address those conditions by fighting? What is coming up for you when it comes to your self-growth in your business? Do you fight connections? Do you fight the resources to get what you need to survive, to thrive? Are you looking at an opportunity to say, this is not for me, but it really is for you? Are you looking at the people? Are they your net worth? Are they a liability in your life right now? What current conditions are coming down when you're facing a situation, an obstacle? Is it your health? What is it? Is it anything that is stopping you to go forward in fulfilling your destiny? Are you flighting? Are you running away from it? Are you frightened? Are you scared of it? What is it? What's coming up to address your current conditions? And lastly, is it at peace? Are you at peace? when things come up in your life. Now, what I would like for you to do is take the moment of taking a pen and paper, and we're going to go back to this inner focus. Because remember, presently, right now, you're in your highest ideal state. But then when you are triggered and your emotions come up, what comes up when it comes to your personal growth? What comes up when it comes to your business? I would like for you to take the opportunity to write those down. Okay, everyone. So what comes up for you? Go ahead in the group chat so we can get sharing, because this time we're going to be announcing how do you naturally address the fight, the flight, the fright, and your comprehension of what peace looks like for you. So we can go ahead and unmute ourselves. And who do we have joining here? We got Cheryl, we got Christopher, we got Suzanne. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Cheryl.
Hello.
Sweetness. Hello.
Greetings, 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 greetings.
Hello.
All right, so hello. All right, so my question is, we want to now address, how do we address when it comes to fight, flight, fright, and peace? So when it comes up to us as self-growth, and then also in our business, what actions do you take? So Christopher, when situations come up where you're in your highest ideal state and you get triggered, what and how do you naturally address these, I would say, triggers?
Yeah. So I wrote an international best-selling book in this area. A lot of times when we have situations that trigger fear, what that actually is doing is it's stirring up things that happened in your past experiences. It could be what I call limiting beliefs that are forged in your child to development years. And then you have experiences that will reinforce those beliefs. And then as you go into your adult life, you'll have those situations that trigger that fear, which will give you that fight or flight state, that anxiety. And what happens is our minds are in the past and the future. That's where fear thrives. So one of the things I learned to do is learn how to be in the moment, meaning that you're shifting your way of thinking through mental toughness to look at what you can control. So if something triggers something, that's going to normally trigger a limiting belief. Now, you can resolve the root cause to those if you do a lot of hard work through meditation, journaling, some other activities that keep you present to address what was the source to those limiting beliefs. I know for me, it was my father and his absence for the most part growing up. And I always had this strong need for validation. So I sought it out in other people. And so as a result, when I have something that triggers fear, I know at this point, because I've been doing it for 23 years, what can I control in this situation? The first thing I asked. Well, I know I
Mm-hmm.
can control my communication to myself and other people. I can either come from a codependent way or an interdependent way. So I used to be a passive aggressive in my communication. So meaning that I would go out of my way to please and enable others to reinforce that validation. And then I could be
Mm-hmm.
very aggressive, meaning I had high expectations on myself and other people. And when those expectations went unfulfilled, I could go into that fight or flight state, and it was fueled by anger. So with that being said, I have to ask myself, I could control my communication to myself and other people. I could control my behavior. I could control my attitude, my emotions that are happening for me, not to me. To me is the victim, excuses, blaming, complaining. For me means the challenge or obstacle or the situation is giving me an opportunity to learn and grow. And then my action. I can control those 5 things. And then I have to say to myself, what are the things I can't control? Other than COVID, economy, taxes, death, the weather, I cannot control those same 5 things in other people. So I have to say to myself, am I getting caught up in those 5 things in other people in this situation? If I am, then I have to stop and to choose what I can control, letting go of fully what I can. That will bring me back into the moment. And then I'm not going to tie myself to the expectation to the outcome where I'm now in the past and the future where fear resides. I'm now in the moment, trusting the process of what I can control, letting go of what I can't. And the results will be a byproduct of that. It's simply taking the puzzle pieces I have at that moment and maximizing them and trusting that other pieces that are not in my control will come into play later to complete the puzzle. That's how I look at those situations. So I've been able to take my ADHD for 30 years, living in a fight or flight state for those first 30 years, struggling with 12 years of addiction because of that state of being or state of mind, and learning how to be in the moment. So I'm able to offset the symptoms to the point where sometimes I don't even know that I have ADHD. Number 2, then I'm able to be in the moment more in the past and the future, so I can see the challenge or obstacle from the situation as an opportunity to grow and expand and adapt where required, not getting caught up in the whirlwind of expectation beyond my control, only to be frustrated, angry as a result of the fight or flight state.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your wisdom, Christopher. I mean, I really appreciate it. And when you kept saying the word in the moment, it kind of like targeted the word peace, kind of like having a peace of mind,
Yes.
being at equilibrium. And so that makes a lot of sense, because you say a lot of things are deep rooted from our childhood development and how it carries over and triggers certain events into our adulthood year, where we're in the past and the future. But being able to become self-aware and be able to differentiate the two and control our communication behavior. So when it comes to communicating with individuals, individuals, being able to be at peace to make the correct communication in our tonality and how we move in our behavior, to address the matter when it comes to business or even our personal development, self-growth, to cultivate healthy relationships. So yes, I really appreciate that. And any other comments, like Brittany, do you have anything how you address your situations? Are you in a fight, flight, fright piece? Like how do you address situation when it comes to your personal growth and business?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot in the same way of what Christopher does, but in a different modality. So for me, I let myself have my emotions, express them if it's, frustration, crying, whatever, and then regain myself. Like, what's real? What's happening here and now? Am I in danger here and now? Answering those questions and going down that list, it's like, no, you're not in danger here and now. It's that dichotomy with what Christopher stated. You're usually in the past subset of what's happened to you before, but it's not happening in the present here and now. So it's just a matter of getting oriented in the proper headspace of, what's really going on here and what's going on up here in my mind. What's going on physically, what's going on mentally, and then addressing what's happening mentally. Like, I tend to ruminate, so that tends to lead to worry. So a lot of that is counterbalancing that worry and, you know, keeping myself stationed in the present rather than too far in the future, causing anxiety, or in the past. So hopefully that supports and gives a little more information on that.
Awesome sauce. And thank you for sharing your words of wisdom. And Suzanne, how do you address naturally when it comes to your self-growth and in your business?
Yeah, so these are interesting words, and it's wild how each of us have a different orientation towards them. So, for example, I have a background in conflict resolution. So, because I am not afraid to jump into the middle of conflict and give my best shot at breathing peace, for better or worse. But it took me a while to realize that in its, and that I was more comfortable in conflict because of my past, because I saw fighting, because I know fighting, I know people in conflict, or I know what it's like to struggle. And so it took me a while to realize, wow, you know, you chose even a profession around your mess, truly. And the truth is, I'm really good at it. I'm really good at conflict resolution. Thank goodness I'm not just good at the fighting part, right? But it's so interesting how our natural choices in our life can really be a result of these inner issues that we are not healing with. So with all of these, though, what comes to mind is the intentionality of counter triggers. And Tony Robbins talks about this, as do many others, that when we are triggered, and I love what Brittany said, because she clearly is taking a moment in time and space to analyze and to give an assessment. Okay, why am I feeling like this? There's a spatial, you know, it really reminded me of, she's taking this moment out of that trigger to assess where she is in it. And the faster we can get at that, of that momentary analysis, oh, okay, I'm triggered, but then right away, the sooner we can get to that analysis and say, do I need to fight? Do I need to fight? Do I need all of this? And perhaps we don't, and we need to sit with it. But the faster we can get there, I think, to that analytical point, then the faster we can also look at counter triggers. So when you feel triggered to fight, what's something, a tool you can develop to help you counter that and develop your own triggers? You know, some people develop a trigger that when they walk through a doorway, I think Brendan Bouchard talks about this, when he walks through a doorway, he thinks about a blessing of the room he's entering. It's just a trigger. Somebody else said when they put their hands on the steering wheel, it's a trigger. So when we have an automatic thought that comes and triggers us, you know, we have the ability also to build in a counter trigger. Here I am feeling scared of the situation. Maybe your counter trigger is a mantra. I am love, I am peace. I can walk in and share my light with the world in safety and abundance, whatever that is. But we need to develop those counter triggers. And over time, it becomes a faster and faster process, you know, so you won't find yourself ruminating in it. And, you know, of course, yes, analyze why, but it's really not worth it to go into like 2 hours of analyzing why you feel something, and you've lost 2 hours of that energy, that creative, life affirming energy. Don't stay on the past, right? So, and that's the beauty of what Christopher was saying, all of these are rooted in past experience or worry about the future, but the now is here. So the sooner we can return to it, the better. That was just what I thought.
Wow. I mean, y'all just coming with the gems. Y'all coming with the gems. Now I'm turning it over to Cheryl. What is your thought and how do you naturally address when it comes to your personal self-growth and in your business?
I don't know that it's going to be quiet, but I count my blessings for one thing, just to get my mind straight, you know, what things I'm grateful for. And then I find a place where I can be quiet and just think. So that always helps. And then deep breathing. Sometimes I need to go take a walk. And if there's a tree or flowers or something nearby, that always helps too. So, you know, that's not always possible, but if I'm driving or something and I start counting my blessings, then the traffic doesn't seem so bad. You know, I'm not so stressed out by it. And if I'm talking with somebody, I take a deep breath and listen so that I can make good responses and calm the situation down. So I'm known for calming classrooms down just by being there. So I have to draw on that when those kind of things come up.
Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom. And as Suzanne said, nature is super helpful, or I would say empowering. Getting out in the green space is so important. That is so true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to proceed because as I am hearing all of your gems of wisdoms from different perspectives, it goes back into the center that deals with your mind. So as we advance, we're going to go into our hot seat section. So just imagine you're now submerging from the oasis of the water, and now you're walking back onto mainland. A whole new person. In the song I was singing, a whole new world, right? But it's time for you to get in the hot seat. So just imagine that the divine source, your ancestors, and nature is now inside of you, and you're in your highest ideal state, and is now to share who are you? Who are the people that you serve? And then the notes that you took down on your challenges when it comes to your self-growth in business, to share them, and then together we're going to mastermind. So let's go, because we want to transform our challenges into opportunities. As we were sharing, is that when we get to analyze and explore what the triggers are, how we're going to counteract with that, it creates a door of inner and outer opportunities. And these opportunities leads to solution-based ideas and concepts, just like we share about tools, techniques, meditations that we can utilize, or even systems that can set in place. So with these solution-based ideas and concepts, it's readily available to implement immediately. Just like what Suzanne shared, you don't want to spend 2 hours. Maybe the first time becoming self-aware, you may take that time, but over time, just like what Suzanne and Chris shared, and as well Brittany and you, Cheryl, shared, is that the time becomes smaller and smaller, where you have this intuitive tool readily available to implement immediately. So now we're going to go into our 30-second hot seat. So I have this listed. For 30 seconds, you're going to introduce who you are, who do you serve, challenges you're dealing with in your business, and then 2 minutes of all of us participating as asking clarifying questions. And lastly, we're going to empower each other about our business to onboard in implementing crops. Most of you may say, what is crops, Empress? Well, we're going to go into. So what I would like to do is to get this trolley going on the board, is that I would like to have, let's see, Suzanne to go first, and then we're going to proceed. And Suzanne, you can choose our next participant to get on the hot seat, and we're just going to popcorn. Is that okay with everyone? Say yes, or put a thumbs up in the chat.
Yes.
Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. And for those who are viewing in our private group in Mastermind, take great notes, because you too will be on this live, and you will have the opportunity And guess what? You be ready to go for the hot seat. All right, Suzanne. So go ahead and tell me, who are you? Who do you serve? And what challenges are you dealing with in your business? And then we're all going to open up to ask more clarifying questions. And then we're going to go into crops. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Okay, that is the most difficult question, is who are you? You'd think it'd be easy, right? It's so not. To contain us into a small space. Oh. So I'll say I am an entrepreneur and a servant that loves to bring out the potential of others. Who do I serve?
Awesome. And so what challenges are you dealing with?
Sorry. As far as who I serve, I serve small and medium-sized businesses, especially mission-driven businesses that are seeking to make an impact on the world, especially those who are not quite sure if their online presence is powerful, if they're reaching the right market, what's working and what's not working. So those who have questions about their online brand and presence. Should I keep going down the list?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. Challenges I'm dealing with in my business. Not to sound like a broken record, but because I'm sure many people have this challenge. I think for me, I'm just setting it up and looking for this right systems I need and structure I need to scale. And I am also dealing with an immediate challenge, maybe you guys can help with, is I named a product and I'm questioning the name now. I had some feedback from a brand expert and he was poo-pooed my name really quickly. And I'm not married. The beautiful thing is I'm not married to it. I was like, okay, let's change it. And it was interesting how I didn't even get attached to my idea of the name. I took the feedback and I was like, whatever works, you know? So, but I would love some feedback from you guys on that. Should I go ahead and ask?
Yes. And then any clarifying question? Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So I have a communications business. I help clients with both their in-person, their websites, anything dealing with their content online or in person. And when I was taking in new clients, I would kind of give them a review of their entire online presence to help them understand how they're showing up to the world and give them real feedback on how they're showing up, what their strengths are and weaknesses. And I realized this alone is a real service and a product. And I named it a digital real estate review, like your online properties that I'm reviewing. And immediately when the brand expert said digital real estate review, no, it doesn't sound like you're reviewing your online brand. It sounds like you're selling real estate online. And I was like, okay, I can see that. Definitely. So he was like, you need to get rid of the words real estate. And my whole thing was your online presence are your online properties and to treat it like your online properties. And so I named it digital real estate review, but that's the question is, if you see that, do you assume you know what it is, or would you ask, like, I wonder what that is? That's my question to you.
Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, it's time for our clarifying questions. Go ahead, Christopher. Mm-hmm.
So I would just ask so you are helping them to really do an assessment of their digital presence, which is going to be a lot of cases, the first touch that somebody may have. Maybe they found them through Google, through a search word or a hashtag, and brought them to the site. So kind of like, in a way, what I was just trying to ask, what can what can you project yourself to be in terms of helping them to see that that is a viable touch point that is going to get, allow them to be more compelling to their audience. And as part of the conversion process, that's not only going to create awareness, but it's going to engage them, maybe perhaps sign up for their e-newsletter or other stuff that you may send by attracting them there and keeping them there. And then what does that mean overall to the business? Even though you may not get involved in the other aspects of the business, but how this is vitally important as a strategic a part of their strategy to generate leads that will turn and convert into customers.
Beautiful. So do we take all the questions, honey, and then I respond, or should I respond?
Yeah, we're gonna ask clarifying questions. So anybody, I know Jay Nicole. What's up, Jay Nicole?
What's
she
up?
shared that to this. What's up? Everybody say, what's up, Jay Nicole?
What's up?
Indeed. So Jay Nicole, she said that she would dismiss it. So go ahead and clarify why you would dismiss the digital real estate real review, Jay Nicole. And she's an amazing star. Woo! Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just shared in the chat that I at first glance that, the term real estate would make me just dismiss it because I'm not in real estate, and I would say, oh, that's for people who are into real estate, and just move on. But what I also said in the chat is I think that may be some great signature terminology to use within the course itself, because it's very clever and it does make sense once you explain it. But at first glance, I think it may lead somebody to think it's something that it's not, and I would just pass by it.
Great, thank you so much.
I want to piggyback on that and ask a clarifying question, because I feel the same way. And you had asked, like, would that inspire someone to ask? And I think that's the hard part about branding, is they shouldn't have to ask questions. They should just have that, like, ooh, this person has something I need. And then that leads them to ask questions. So my clarifying question is, have you done market research?
Some, yes. And I have over 50 beta testers. Actually, that became 50 clients. So yes and no. And I've asked them questions about the name and things like that. And they agreed that the explanation it totally made sense once you're in it, which was the previous remarks. So I appreciate that. And, I'm feeling really good that, number one, the product is great. I've had really good feedback. And Cheryl, you're welcome to pop in and give any feedback, please. But the only thing I'm proud of, not just that the service is good, but just that I'm willing to change it, and I don't care because it's about what's going to work and what's going to help serve the most people.
Well, and I think that's where my question was coming from.
Yeah.
Is this idea that, because I've been focusing a little bit more recently on market research myself, and the words other people would use to describe it is really powerful, especially if you have that many customers, right? Like, what are the words that really click, that you hear them using the most often, that evokes something? Because even what you said, even if you were in real estate, it sounds boring. So like, you want people to be like, oh shit, I need that. And that's what I want.
Yeah, I agree with the market research. I always advocate that to people that are starting up a startup company and they're raising capital and they're going to put a lot of time and effort, even if it's a small business, even if you're not raising capital. You can't just assume or speculate that, hey, something sounds good, that it's going to take off.
Right.
Good a survey, market research, will allow you to establish, can you build a viable product or service that somebody will require it, and that will be willing to find out more. I would even add to that, maybe asking a clarifying question of maybe, again, what industry or industries could benefit mostly. I know this applies to any kind of business, but maybe perhaps there are certain businesses that are really seeing the value in this. And if you spend more effort in those industries, speaking at trade shows, going to their functions, and building a sphere of influence in that area. I mean, you could just build a business in itself in that industry or two itself.
Yeah, I
and
thought
not just
about
be everything
that.
for everybody.
And Christopher, thank you for your previous comment as well, because all of the questions you asked made me feel good about the funnel I set up, because those questions are answered in the funnel, like content point after content point. So bless you, and that was beautiful clarification. I also came to the realization that this is actually a fundraiser product for the startup I want to be working on. And I realized that I need to be white labeling this for agencies to offer this service to their clients, for all the graphic designers, for all the advertising agencies, because it's a powerful brand audit. So thank you so much for the feedback. Anyone else that I missed?
I didn't hear what you said, Chris, the first time.
What's that? Oh, sorry, Harrison. I just talked about the importance of, again, just being, something that is going to really demonstrate that this is a vital part of a strategy, that first touch point that is going to make that first introduction and engage the audience that she serves, that they can see this as a vital point of taking someone from somebody interested to a lead to a customer, so to speak, and really, connect the dots and how this is going to help them, be able to really, establish a touch point up front that's going to allow people to go through that funnel process and become a customer.
Right. Well, my understanding is that you have about 3 to 5 seconds to grab their attention in any kind of a situation. So you have to have a hook within the first 3 to 5 seconds. Then you have to have a story that makes sense, that people can relate to, and then you have to have a call to action. So the hook, story, call to action. If you're not getting what you want at any given point, it's because one of those three is not effective. So those are the 3 places. So if you want to reanalyze something to make it stronger, it's always going to be one of those 3 that isn't getting your conversion. Or if you get them all right, you're going to have a conversion each time.
Thank you, Harrison. I appreciate that. And that's what I tell all my clients as well, especially about storytelling.
Yeah. Well, storytelling is important for people to be able to relate to you. Yeah. And relate to what you.
Awesome. You say, well, as we advance, go ahead.
Hi, Nikki.
Cheryl, did you have any comments? And I'm only saying this, pointing out Cheryl just because she's been through it. So God bless her investment.
Yes.
I'm just throwing things in
and
the
God
chat.
bless Chris.
Okay, hon.
But I like that verbiage, the brand audit and versus digital real estate review. And I love the hook, story, call to action. I think that's very important. We need to all use that.
Brand wellness plan. Let's get a pulse on your brand wellness. And just like everybody has an annual preventive wellness program, you could have your annual brand wellness exam.
Christopher, you read my mind, because my free PDF I give out is called Save My Brand, and I have a heart with a pulse on it. So you are on me today. Thank you for that.
You're
that's
welcome.
like my lead in to this product.
He's a slacker.
He's on point with
when
me.
all the great minds come together, Suzanne.
Thank you, guys. This is lovely.
I'm saying when all the great minds come together, this is what we call our masterclass. Like you say, teamwork makes the dream work. So now we have discovered what are your current healthy crops, like the connections, the resources, the opportunities, the people, the systems. And so now let's kind of get a little bit more specific on how to empower Suzanne. So as we went back to our hot seat, it's time to start the crops. So let's look at how are we going to get ready, and how can Suzanne get ready to harvest her crops? utilizing connections, resources, opportunity, people, and systems. So one thing you want to identify is that you have a system, Suzanne, the connections and resources and the people, as we shared today. So how can we finalize the empowerment with our crops? And so let's get at it.
So is this where I talk about what I need or don't have?
Yeah, if anybody have any connections or resources, like we gave some methodical outlooks, like opportunities or things like that. This is time to kind of come together and provide our resources to empower you or vice versa.
Bless you.
One of the things I would suggest here when you're looking at this, I call these the 5 cylinders of business. When you look at people, you look at sales, marketing, or I like to call it enrollment, financial, technology, and then systems processes, is to conduct a kind of like, just like if you were an alcoholic will conduct his or her inventory on, what are things they have to let go and what are the things that they're good at. Look at what your strengths and weaknesses are. And if whatever weaknesses are required to really move your business forward, instead of saying, well, I'm going to get better at that, forget that. Work on enhancing what you're already good at. And then do you have the means to hire someone or invest in a resource that could offset your weaknesses? So that will help you to streamline that process, to spend most of your energy on the things you're good at, to find that alignment. I always find that when you assess your strengths and weaknesses up front, that really helps when you try to look at the engines of your business. Are they in alignment?
Thank you for that. I agree, and I'm happy to ship it all out that I'm not. I know my weaknesses are plenty.
Like you say, teamwork makes the dream work, Suzanne. Well, as we bring everything to a close, Suzanne, who will be the next amazing person that you would like to place on the hot seat?
I would love to hear from Nicole Rao.
All right. Are we there, Nicole? Hello.
Are you talking about Jay Nicole?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
I am Jane. So do I just hop right in, Empress?
Yep, just go right on in, and like she's a star, y'all, a really star. So go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that beautiful intro, and thank you for inviting me in, Suzanne. I am love. I am compassion. I am understanding. I am joy. I create a good time for people. That is my mission. And I express these things through my acting and my coaching. I act on Broadway, on TV, and in film. And I also am a manifestation and abundance coach as well. I love to help millionaires in the making who feel like they don't have the time to do what's necessary to manifest the next level in their career or in their business or in their lifestyle, to manage their time and to attract the abundant life that they deserve. Many of my clients even tripling their income in as little as 30 days. So that is who I serve. Challenges that I'm dealing with in my business right now. The same one that I was dealing with a couple weeks ago when I came here. I'm still, I feel like I have tapped my, the biggest challenge is getting more people into my abundance challenge, this upcoming abundance challenge, which starts on Friday. So in 4 days. I am currently I'm approaching 150 registrants. My goal was to get to 400 registrants. I have 7 confirmed speakers. They have not yet done, it doesn't seem that any of them have done any of their promo yet. And and so I know that that's going to bring a big influx of people when they do that. I was later sending out their materials than I wanted to be. So that a big part of that is on me. And at the same time, I'm like, I also would love some feedback and help on how to encourage them, lovingly nudge them to go ahead and do it. I know it's probably also because it's the holiday weekend, and that's probably a thing too. So I don't know, but the crux of the challenge is getting more registrants into the challenge.
Right.
I would just ask.
Questions?
Yeah, Nicole, I would just ask a question like
Jay Nicole, please.
No, Jay Nicole. Hey,
yes.
Jay Nicole. I would ask, like, what would be, again, these are going to be people that are already do very well. They're successful people already.
I would love that. That's who I would love to serve. I don't know that those are the people that are coming into the challenge or not, though.
Got it. So that's where they're probably, so getting get some clarity, exactly, visualize. I would suggest that asking a question like, who is the person I ultimately desire to serve? Get even specific. What are they, male, female, both? Or are they at a certain income level? Are they in certain industries? So this way, when you get clarity over that, you begin to, focus your energy on that particular area. Maybe, who knows, maybe the speakers you have on board don't align with the types of people. Maybe, I can't say that for certain. I'm just throwing that out there, with the types of people that you're looking to serve. And there might be a disconnect with the message, or perhaps like maybe that the people that you're looking to target, maybe perhaps, am I exploiting those areas where those people would be versus not be? I always say that when you, just like going back to the survey and doing the marketing up front, that when you can get a firm grasp on that, that will direct you where to spend most of your resources and time in playing in that sandbox versus another one, so to speak, where that, you might just be, throwing mud at a wall, but not, only a little bit of sticking, versus more that will stick if it were, if you know exactly the types of people that you really are looking to serve.
I do.
Okay.
I thought the clarifying question is that the people that are coming to the challenge. I do know who I want to serve. I thought you were asking me if those were the people coming to the challenge.
Yeah. Because what I would just ask, if you know what, then see if, in fact, if you're not seeing those types of people, then maybe perhaps look at a question like, where could I focus? Where could be another areas that maybe we haven't been targeting? Do those speakers have access to those people in those areas? And that could be like the next question to, ask yourself, and ask, the people that you're working with, to see if they, are reaching those types of people that could benefit from this program or your event that you're putting on.
Are you suggesting that you think that may be the holdup why they're not marketing?
It could be. I'm not saying that it is. I mean, a lot of times it could be a lot of reasons. People get caught up in their own agendas, and it's not that their intention is not to do anything. It's just they get caught up in their own stuff and their businesses. They get distracted, and it's just human nature that a lot of times people just don't do what they say they're going to do, or not to the level of your, in this case, your level of focus on this. It's like if you have a business and then you expect your employees to have the same level of energy and focus as you do, that a lot of times just is an expectation that many times will go unfulfilled because it's not their business. It could be a job. It's just a means to an end. But again, you can create the environment to inspire them to be more than that. Yes. So again, I guess it's just getting some clarity on the people you're working with, and are they the right speakers and right fit with the types of people that you truly desire to serve, and that that when you can get in front of them, you can do just that.
Jay, can I enter? Can I also say something here? Is that okay? Okay, so there's three things that the reason why people don't do oftentimes what they say they're going to do is that, they're not in congruence with the things that you are asking them to do. So you have to understand that three things that you have to get in congruence with them on. You have to get in congruence with their values. So they have to have a similar value system as you. So those are the kind of speakers that will do the best for you. You also have to have an internal compass. So that compass is, what is my true north? I mean, what is it I'm trying to do? The most important high impact thing I'm trying to do. They have to have a similar kind of desire, or they have to have a similar kind of audience. And then the third one is, what is my truth statement? So my truth is different than everybody else's truth. Your truth is different than mine, et cetera, et cetera. The truth statement that you have is, it's like, truth is, you don't need psychological help. You don't need to have new, reach out to a whole bunch of new people. You don't need to do this. Your truth has to be something that they need, but the way you state it is, you don't need that. So what you need is my stuff. You got it? Does that make sense? So the truth has to be, my truth is, I don't need to have, like, I work on psychological and other kinds of areas. So my truth is, you don't need a lot of therapy. You don't need a lot of, religious intervention. You don't need a lot of, counseling to do what you need to do. My product and my situation is all you need to get there. You've got to establish yourself as the expert in a particular product or a particular idea. And as you establish yourself, you're eliminating what they don't need, so that they can choose you as the one and only go-to for that. Okay, and that has to do both with affiliates, and that has to do with also client base. So both of those things have to be done. All three of those things: your value statement, your internal compass, and whatever your truth statement is.
What, I understand the first two. Are you saying that our truth statement should be similar as well? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, pretty much. Your truth has to be someone who is eliminating the kinds of things that you don't want to happen, so that they can choose you.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand when we jumped from clarifying questions to sharing resources, because I didn't really hear anybody asking J. Nicole a lot of questions to clarify what her actual need was. So I just want to identify that and acknowledge that, because that was the format that I was kind of trying to follow. So J. Nicole, it sounded to me like your main challenge was identifying, of the speakers you're working with, and of how many people you want to reach and how many you've reached. What's your timeline? I'm curious as far as how far out is this? And yeah, I am curious to know what kind of interaction or communication you've had with these speakers. What is expected of them? What do they know that's expected of them? What's everybody's role? Has that been discussed?
Yeah, thank you. Good questions, Monique. Friday is when the challenge jumps off. This Friday, so 4 days from now. The speakers I've had verbal conversations with all of them. And what I asked of them was to send out 2 emails to their list, one as soon as possible and one just before the challenge starts. And also to do 2 posts on all relevant social media platforms. Again, one as soon as possible and one just before it starts. And then a third optional one the day before they speak. And so they have all agreed.
Are these high profile speakers, or are they mid-level speakers?
It's a mix. I guess it's a mix.
You're going to have a hard time getting high profile speakers to do that. They basically will not. Mid-levels will do that, but high profiles will not.
They have all agreed that they would do it. But again, I acknowledge the fact that I sent out the materials late, and so that could be part of what's going on mixed with the holiday weekend.
Then give them a
Um,
reason to rush. Give them a big
So,
reason to rush. A huge reason to rush.
it, Jay Nicole, in terms of what will be it for you? It's obviously, again, I don't want to assume, but is this going to be something that they'll go into a program that you offer to help them? And then what would that be for the speakers as well? Would that mean something for them? Would they be part of this? If somebody comes in, they're getting a revenue from this, through their affiliate link, or just the exposure as a speaker?
So the speakers get 100% of front end sales, and we're doing an 80-20 split on the back end. Yeah, both ways, whether they come into my program or their program, it's an 80-20 split both ways. I think that was your question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Brittany,
and the speakers that you've chosen, are they also doing other similar virtual summits around the same time?
A couple of them are, not all of them, but a couple of them are.
The reason why I ask is there could be sometimes a conflict where if they're putting out things to their list more than twice a week, they're going to stress their list. So if they're doing it for some other event organizer and now doing it for you, someone's going to get the short end of the stick. So, and that's not, again, not their intention, but I find that a lot of times when I see a lot of virtual summits, there are a lot of these things going on at the same time. And there's a tendency, a lot of these speakers, and I've been there, I've done this in the past where, I've been one of those speakers, and I've had to kindly decline because I didn't want to short end. I said, listen, I've already done another one 2 days ago, and I can't go to my list and send out another thing again. I just can't do that. So I kindly had stepped back and didn't do that. So that would be something to clarify with the speakers, because there could be some hesitation where maybe they didn't send it to their list. They might have posted it on social media, but they didn't send it to their list unless you have a way to track it to know if they did or not.
Got you. Monique, did I fully answer your question? Yes. Okay. I see Brittany and Suzanne both have questions too.
Yeah. So I actually have a few questions, which was just a good one was just brought up. Do you have a way to track with each person how many people they're bringing in, each of your speakers?
I do. I have affiliate links. Yes.
Perfect. And then my next question is, did you vet their lists as to how many people they have on social media, email lists, and that sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, it's just from what I'm hearing, it's just laid on materials and you have plenty of time as long as, people hit the ground running tomorrow. And then day before.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to get a lot of people in. And then, gosh, I have one more question and I am slipping on it. I forgot. But I think you'll be fine. You already have, 100 some odd people, even just by yourself. So yeah, just play catch up and hold their hands a little bit. Oh, the last part is that mentioned in the speaker agreement? Because I heard that you said that it was verbal.
Yes. Okay. I put all of that in writing as well. So we have verbal conversation, and then everything that we spoke about, I sent in writing as well. Yes. Yeah. So I would ask of you, Brittany and Harrison, and anybody else, when you say hold your hand, or Harrison, you mentioned give them a big reason why, like how that, I guess that is my question.
Well, one of the things that motivates people is that they can be compared to each other. So you can have a contest. So you can say, okay, well, Nicole or Suzanne is, brought me 30 people. This other person brought me 100, how many additional ones can you bring? Or, somebody else brought me 25 and this one brought me 30. You're in the running, but let's see who can outdo each other, that kind of thing. Motivate them by some incentive to work with the next level of what they're doing. So, if there's let's say, when I was doing the Masters Gathering, I had the incentive that I was giving away a luxury car for 3 years. I was giving a lease on a luxury car for 3 years to the top person who did. And that didn't cost me anything because those guys were actually paying. I found a way for the circumstance to pay for itself, so it didn't cost me anything to do that, and so that incentivized a lot of people. So then you have a leaderboard. You have who's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can say, okay, well, you can catch up. There's more people coming in. Blah blah blah. I know there's other things. So you motivate them in some way. Big reason. My big reason was I gave people, a possibility of having a luxury car 3 years. Talking about a Lexus, Mercedes, or Audi for 3 years that I would pay for. So that moves a few people. So, not everybody, but it moves some. Some people don't need a car, or don't want a car, or whatever. Or in Chris's case, I gave him the incentive to do a motorcycle.
Hey, I'm riding that Harley later today. No, I'm kidding.
That's right.
All right,
Yeah.
Brittany, did
So-
you have your
Does
clarifier
that
for
help,
Yeah,
Jay?
just want to give her a little insight. So what I mean by holding their hand is being like, hey, have you sent out that email yet? I'm expecting to see one come out today, tomorrow. Let's get as many people as possible in here so that we get the best event happening. Just really psych them up for it and really give them day of reminders so that, they're on top of it and it doesn't get pushed off anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
Did
Okay.
what I say help, Jay? Jay Nicole, did what I say help?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Except for Chris's motorcycle.
If I
yes,
may.
and go ahead.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you. So because I frequently invite speakers and go through this process, I kind of went through the same learning curve as well. And I do like Harrison's idea for the gamification, kind of have them compete against each other for referrals and for signups. You don't have to, a car it might be out of range.
Yeah, you don't have to go that big. That's
Of
just up to-
course, but
that's
it
up
could
to
be
you.
a feature article. It could be an interview broadcasted live. It could be anything to do that. But where I was going is what's worked best for me is a little bit further than what Brittany was saying. To make it easier on them, I provide them the graphics. I provide them the email drafts. I provide them, any kind of other collateral, marketing collateral, content collateral, audio clips, 30-second, 60-second for reels, 15 seconds, I mean. So I go ahead and do that extra step because it's very unlikely that they're going to use their own creative prowess to invest in that. And this is your baby, and only you can guarantee your baby.
Yeah, they
I
have
also fluff. Okay, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So for that and
that they're featured, like I made each one individual to the speakers, that they're featured in their particular marketing, their email, their post, their graphic.
that's great. Okay, that was it, hun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. And how do you feel, Jay Nicole? Any other harvesting crops that we can share with you?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate the insight, everyone. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. Well, like you say, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the 6 o'clock hour, actually 6:01, 1 minute past 6 o'clock. Woo woo. And I want to bring this to an amazing close. And one of the things that we all learned is how to mastermind and how to provide amazing resources and insight with our thought seat for the review for next week. To remember, those who was looking at Suzanne and Jay Nicole and how everything was answered, be here for next week on our masterclass on Monday and learn about who are you serving, what challenges you're dealing with, And we're going to ask those clarifying questions to empower you with the crops. So all I say is time to crop. Start thinking about your resources on how you can serve community here, and also bring a guest, because we love guests, and our amazing goal is to reach 100 attendees on virtual. And for those who are listening out there, definitely send your friends on a private invite so they can get crop information to empower themselves. Now, virtually tune in on Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we have an amazing keynote speaker who has over 10,000 followers. But guess what? He's making high premium clients from these followers, not just followers just following him, but converting them into high ticket clients. And guess what he's doing it on? TikTok. So his name is Richard Longer, and I want you all to be here next week to stay tuned. And he's going to be sharing his amazing secrets on how he was able to 10,000 followers to become hot ticket items. Again, I'm Empress Nakasha, and what we're going to do here, I'm going to stop sharing and put us in the gallery, and I want us all to acknowledge each other. So let's go ahead and unmute ourselves, and I'm going to start. Cheryl, we're going to say, hi, Cheryl, and what's up? And then, hi, Empress, what's up? Hi, Brittany, what's up? Chris, Suzanne, Harrison, Monique, Carrie, and then we got online. And then we all gonna bless each other with an amazing virtual hug, and see you all next week. All right, let's start off with Cheryl. Everybody say, hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl.
What's up? Hey, Empress.
Cheryl.
What's up?
All right. What's up, Brittany?
What's up, Brittany?
Hey, Brittany.
Hi, Christopher. What the wisdom?
Thank you.
Christopher.
Christopher.
Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne, what's
Harrison,
up?
Dr. Harrison, hello.
Harrison.
Thank you for the abundance.
you.
And Monique, hey, what's in the
Hey,
house?
Hi, Monique.
And Kari, hello.
What's up,
Excellent.
Kari?
Kari, hi.
And
Kari.
thank you so much. And everybody, give a pause for Leah for putting this technical and everything streaming for us. Is it Leah? Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Leah.
her family's
What's up,
doing well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
thank
The
you.
positive
on?
energy.
Miro, you
Bye,
on?
everyone.
No, Miro is
Go ahead.
on camping right now.
He's where?
Yeah, he's with his
Okay.
family.
Okay.
Yes. So today, Empress stepped in because, like you say, teamwork makes the dream work. And I'm
Thank you,
glad
Empress.
all showed up. And thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Empress.
blessing each one. Indeed. So let's see you all next week, and have a happy 4th of July. And everyone who is on the live stream, on the groups, we'll see you all next week too. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Happy 4th of
Bye.
July.